Honestly, these guys, they just love deceiving themselves. They just want to say something that their boss would like to hear. The same Governor Zulum who has been saying that security is better off now compared to when Jonathan was there. All of them are the same, don't get me wrong. But things are getting bad. Why can't you call a spade a spade? That is what we are talking about. We are not saying, oh, this one is more better. But what we are talking now, what we are experiencing now, is not better off. We are supposed to have improved from the last government. And the last government that we thought was bad, we ought to have improved. They ought to have improved in every areas, whether economy and other area in other sectors. We ought to have improved. But the worst part of it is that we are even worse off. And you will still come out. Anytime Buhari wants to come to the state, you will say, oh, people should come and gather and support him. You want to tell him what he wants to hear. I don't even know why you guys that you are old. I don't know why you are what you are afraid of. You cannot say the truth. Things are getting bad. You are intact. Your children, your family members are well intact. Other people are vulnerable out there. And you are telling us that security is better now. Now you are coming back again to tell us that they have that these bandits or the terrorists, they have taken over the state. You can imagine such a thing. Who is now fooling who? Your children are well intact, but we have children of the commoners who are littered all over the place. And the same man was telling us that by December, I don't know whether he has been able to fulfill that promise, saying that all the IDP camps will be closed down, just to show that yes, they have been able to defeat Boko Haram, or they are making headways. Now they are coming out to tell us that all manner of things, just like what is happening in Zamfara. They are coming out. Tomorrow again, we ask him again, we begin to tell you another thing. Those who will see evil and call it good. Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State and his Zamfara counterpart Bello Matawale have cried out that terrorists are overrunning their states, while Zulum said fighters of the Islamic State, West Africa and ISWAP would break havoc more than Boko Haram, not only in Borno but in other parts of the country, if not tackled. Matawale said bandits were being released without trial by competent courts of law, and that over 600,000 people are now in IDP camp. You see what we are saying? That thousands of these people have been released without courts, without trial by courts. The Borno governor spoke when he received the Senate Committee on Army in Maiduguri, while Matawale made his position known when he received in audience a federal government delegation led by Minister of Justice. But if he sees Buhari now, he will change his language. If they send representatives, he begin to say another thing. You see how deceitful these people can be? Now he's saying another thing. Governor Zulum, during an interactive section with the Senate Committee on Army at the government house in Maiduguri on Wednesday, said that Abadam and Guzamala local government areas are under control of Boko Haram. Our correspondents report that the two local governments are in the northern part of Borno State and had been under Boko Haram occupation for years. And Lai Mohammed will come and tell you that no, there's no territory that these guys are operating on or they are holding on to. And these are the set of people, this Senate, senator, what's this man's name? Oh my goodness. Ndume said that the federal government should give these people more time so that they can surrender. More time. Record that at the time, the Chadian troops had captured Abadam and other towns from the assailants and stayed there for months before they left the shores of Nigeria and continued repelling the terrorists along the Chadian and waterlogged areas. But after they retreated following the deployment of Nigerian troops, it did not take long when ISWAP fighters mobilized again and took over many towns and villages in Abadam and Guzamala. You know that we said it, they said it that time that Chadian was able to capture all of those places. People said, before you know it, these guys will take over because Nigerian government is not serious about this whole fight, and this is exactly what it is now. You know that a lot of people have forgotten this. But after they retreated following the deployment of Nigerian troops, it did not take long. ISWAP fighters mobilized again and took over many towns and villages in Abadam and Guzamala, among others. Since then, the terrorists have been controlling the affairs of the locals who could not leave to safer places or IDP camps. Locals said they have continued to pay taxes and levies to the invaders to have access to their farms and markets. Zulum also expressed concern over the growing presence of ISWAP in the southern part of Borno after dislodging fighters loyal to the late Abubakar Shekau. I must commend the Nigerian army for the relative peace in many parts of the state, but I want to appeal to the military to take the war against the insurgents and chase them out because ISWAP is currently recruiting fighters in some parts of the state, he said. If nothing is done to check and tackle the growing presence of ISWAP fighters who are better armed, better equipped, more deadly, more sophisticated, and receive more funds than Boko Haram, it will be disastrous not only to Borno State but to the country in general. It go limit now go limit am for that on another side. It will never come to the south. The ISWAP are growing spontaneously, and it is not difficult for us to address these problems. We need to pursue ISWAP at this early stage. ISWAP fighters are mounting checkpoints between Damboa and Biu. They are collecting taxes from communities because just 3 days ago I got security information that they held a party ceremony with over 300 machines. Something needs to be done, especially in the axis of Askira, Chibok, and Damboa. Another issue is that 2 of our local government headquarters are still under the under the control of Boko Haram terrorists. Malu Fotaru and Abadam local governments and Guzamala. We want the owners of the 2 local governments to take over. That is the government of Borno State and the 2 local governments. I have commended the Nigerian army for the relative peace in many parts of the state, and there is nothing wrong if I ask them to wake up from the slumber in addressing the problem of ISWAP. ISWAP, the governor said. That is what you always hear. That is what they want to tell them what they want to hear, but the problems are there. Wow. What do we call this? Deceiving. They are deceiving themselves. Say the truth and let the devil be ashamed. No. They want to be politically correct, and that is where we're having problems. So guys, leave your comment down there below and let's have your say.